Okay, let's talk about inside corners. Inside corner will be the most difficult skin you have to reassemble back on the frame. You'll find these a lot in towboats like Mastercrafts. They use several of these cushions in their cockpit cushions on the back. We had the opportunity of putting some of these skins back on frames, and we're going to show you how we do it. So let's get right to it. Okay, so we're going to start by putting the skin over our foam. We've already wrapped our foam in plastic. You want to make sure you put plastic down over top of your foam. That way your skin slide over the foam nice and easy. It allows for stretching and getting out little wrinkles and everything for your final product to be nice and smooth. So what we're going to do is we're going to stretch this skin across the frame, and we're going to double check the fitment, make sure our skin is squared up. All of our corners are fit, nice and tucked. And we're going to flip it over. I'm going to go ahead and probably cut this excess plastic off. We don't need that. So we're just going to get it out of our way for now. And we're going to pull our corners up and just make sure the skin is all centered and fit correctly. If your skin is not centered correctly, then you will have problems with everything lining up later. So it's important you get your skins fit correctly. This cushion has a tack down strip, which is very typical. If you notice here, we can't get our stapler in there. We need to be able to get our stapler in that corner. Our stapler is too big. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to take the skin back off, and we're actually going to remove the large portion of the foam. I'm going to show you an easy way of doing this. If you can take a painter's knife, a putty knife, a big 12-foot or 12-inch putty knife, and just gently scrape it on the back side of the foam, that foam will just come right off the board. You can see how easy it is here. So just take your painter's knife and just slide it on the back side of the foam. This will keep you from tearing your foam off trying to take it off with your fingers. So we're going to remove all this foam, and we're going to start with a small section of foam, and I'm going to show you how we do that here in just a minute. Now that we have our big piece of foam off, we're going to set that to the side, and we're going to grab the small piece of foam, your bolster, that goes right there. What we're going to do is we're going to attach the skin to where the bolster is in place, not your back foam. This will make it easier attaching that tack down strip, and we're going to show you how to do that. Right now I'm just going to tack this foam down to the board so it doesn't shift around. I just go kind of right in the middle of the foam, hit the stapler down on top of it. The stapler will actually go down into the foam and kind of hold it in place. That way it doesn't move around. Now that I have the foam attached to the board to where it won't move around, I'm going to put some plastic over top of this, and then we're going to put our skin back on top. My tack down, I've already cut slits in. You want to cut slits in your tack down strip. That way it goes around the radius is nice and easy. So I'm going to refit this, but I'm going to refit this with the bolster. I'm going to make sure my corners are matched up with the vinyl. Make sure it's evenly matched on that bolster. Falls right in line. Let's flip this frame around. Then I'm going to flip the large portion of the vinyl over top of itself so that I can see this tack down strip. I'm just going to tuck this underneath the frame for now, just to kind of keep it in its place. Now I'm going to pull all my tack down flaps on the correct side of the cushion. and get them ready for stapling. Now that I have all my flaps in place, I'm going to fold my flap over because we give you plenty of room to staple. I'm going to start in the middle center corner, and I'm going to start stapling these flaps down. I'm going to go left, right, work my way from the inside out. So from the inside center out is how you want to work this. So I'll fold my flap over to give the staple something really good to hold into. Make sure that my seam line is even with the top of the cushion. You don't want to pull these too tight. If you pull them too tight, they'll be uneven when you get done. So you want the piping, that vinyl seam, to run right at the top of the foam bolster. So pull them down just tight enough to where they're right at the top of the foam bolster. I'll do a refitment check here. I got two pull downs stapled. I want to do a fitment check here, make sure that my vinyl is pulled over far enough. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and tack down this edge here to hold that vinyl over in place. Okay, now that we got that one side done, we're going to go over to the other side. Again, I'm going to pull my vinyl over to where it's even with the top edge of the foam. And then I'm going to staple my last flap so that it holds the vinyl in place over there. You will want to pull your vinyl over a little bit, and this right here allows the vinyl to stay in place so that it doesn't pull to the center. You want that vinyl to be pulled out to the edge where it belongs. Tack it down so it holds it in place, and then you can go back to the interior flaps and get those stapled down. Okay, now that I got all my flaps tacked down, I'm going to reassemble my large piece of foam that goes on the back side. We're going to wrap this foam with plastic, and then we're going to continue attaching this skin. Most of this is all standard procedure for any skin. The tack downs are standard for any tack downs. This is the standard procedure. We won't get to the inside corner till the very last. The inside corner is actually the last step we do. We actually attach the skin just like we would any other skin, get it tacked down to frame, make sure everything's even around your corners, and then we will tackle the inside corner. We're going to go ahead and fast forward this video with attaching the skin to the bottom of the frame. Since this is all standard procedure, you've seen these in other videos, we're just going to fast forward this video until we get to the inside corner. Okay, so here we are to the inside corner. What I'm showing you here is the stretching. Obviously this vinyl will not stretch. We give you plenty of material to stretch through that corner, but that vinyl will not stretch into that corner. The reason why is because we haven't put any relief cuts in. We're going to have to put some relief slits in. The relief slits are tricky. If you cut too deep, you're going to mess up. You won't have enough vinyl to attach. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out where my relief slits need to go down to. I'm pushing my fingers in the vinyl to try to figure out where that edge is going to be. And I'm going to cut about a ½ inch before that point that it's going to be. I'm going to make several slits here. And you want to be very careful cutting these slits. You got to have these slits as reliefs, but if, like I said, if you cut down too far, you're going to mess your skin up. Okay, so I'm going to do several relief cuts here, and the next procedure will be to steam. You're going to want your steamer out. You're going to want to get it nice and hot, and we're going to start steaming this corner. We want this vinyl as soft as possible. Okay, so I've got my cuts made. I did not cut too far. A little bit later in this video, you're going to see I'm going to cut a little bit more, but it's better to cut less now so that you don't cut too far. So let's take our steamer and let's start steaming that corner. We want to steam the whole thing, the flaps, the cuts, the whole corner, the top of the 90-degree corner, everything. We want that whole section as soft as possible. Get that steamer on it and let's steam it for about a minute. Okay, now that we got it all nice and soft, we're going to start attaching this vinyl. So I'm going to start right in the center of the crease, and I'm going to pull this vinyl down as tight as I can, and I'm going to tack it down. Tack that vinyl down right there. Okay, it's going to look ugly right now, but we want to get that vinyl tacked down in the middle of that crease, and then we want to steam some more. That way we can work from that point out. And that vinyl is going to be very tight, so you have to pull it pretty snug. You don't want to pull it too tight though, because you want the top of that seam, that sewn seam at the top of the foam, you want it to fall right in line with the top edge of that foam. You pull it too tight and it will pull that corner down. So if you see that, don't pull it so tight. Just pull it tight enough to get to that seam to the top of the corner and get it attached to the vinyl. Do not staple that vinyl at the edge of the frame. Staple it about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch into the frame when you staple that first staple, okay? Now we're gonna, after we got done steaming it again, we're gonna pull this vinyl tight to where we can try to get as many wrinkles out as possible and tack it down, okay? Now we're starting to pull the vinyl towards the outside corner. You want to pull the vinyl from the center to the outside. This is going to require a lot of steam. We're going to steam this corner again, and then we're going to pull the other side of the vinyl down. On these inside corners, you cannot use enough steam. Steam, steam, steam. You got to get this vinyl as soft as possible so that it will stretch these wrinkles out. And again, we're going to start from the center and pull out to the outside edge. Okay, so once I get this steamed, we're going to tack the other corner of this edge down like we did the last one. Okay, so I'm going to pull my vinyl and attach it to the frame on this side as well. I'm going to flip it over, check my fitment, and I'm going to start manipulating some of these corners. When I push down on the vinyl here, you can see a lot of excess vinyl. This is because we need to pull it tighter. But since we have most of the vinyl tacked down, we can now start making our relief cuts a little longer so that we can undo those staples and re-stretch. But only until we get the vinyl stapled down to this point are we safe to trim further down on our relief cuts. Again, if you cut these too far the first time, you will not get to this point. Your skin will have to be remade. So you want to be careful cutting your relief cuts. Once you get the relief cuts cut, we attach it, and then we reassess. We cut relief cuts further. We're going to remove these staples so that we can steam this again and re-stretch. But we know we're safe at this point because we got the vinyl stretched to this part of the frame. Okay, now that we got that nice and soft and steamed again, we have our staples out. Now I'm going to re-pull this vinyl in the corner and re-staple it down. Again, do not staple right at the edge of your frame. Go about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch inside the frame when you're stretching this and stapling it down, because we'll repeat this process again. Now you can see our corners getting a little tighter, our wrinkles are starting to disappear. A lot of these wrinkles we can manipulate out with the steam too. We can direct those wrinkles to the outside of the cushion, and we're going to take some more staples out and re-stretch those as well. So more steam, more steam, more steam, staple, stretch, staple, steam, unstaple, repeat. Keep watching. Okay, as you can see, we made some more relief cuts. And the more relief cuts, the more it will allow that radius to come around in that 90-degree corner. So I'm going to steam some more. We removed those staples right there in the center. I'm going to press down on the vinyl as I stretch those flaps, and we're going to restaple. We're getting pretty close to the final staple of that flap, but this is a process. These 90-degree corners take 2 or 3, 4, 5 swipes of stapling, steam, unstaple, re-steam, staple again, steam. So here I am stretching the vinyl, and as you can see, the vinyl's starting to pull out nice and smooth in that corner. Now, it will not be 100% without a wrinkle. There will be a slight wrinkle. There's just no way that you can do an inside 90-degree corner with that much material and not have a little bit of a wrinkle. But at the end of this video, you're going to see that 99% of it is gone, smoothed out, and looks really good. So here we go. We're going to steam some more. We're going to pull the flaps back down and restaple. At this point, we have a few little wrinkles left. We can start manipulating these with our steamer and our fingers. If we get this nice and soft, we can actually use our fingers to kind of pull these wrinkles out to the outside edges. And you'll see me do that here in just a second. So I'm going to get it nice and soft, and then I'm going to start manipulating that vinyl and massaging those wrinkles out. And the more steam you put on there, you can massage it out and then let it cool down for a minute. And then steam again, and then massage those wrinkles out to the outside corner. You'll repeat this process until they really just start disappearing. Okay, now that I've done that process several times, I'm going to go ahead and start attaching my outside corners to the frame. I'm basically just using a simple pull method to kind of pull that vinyl around the corner. We manipulate that vinyl as we staple. All right, now we got these few last little wrinkles here. We're going to do a final steam. We're going to massage those out until we can't hardly see them anymore. Okay, so now that I got my inside corner done, I'm going to start trimming off all the excess so we can attach our item. Again, this is all standard procedure from other videos. I'll fast forward through this section until the very end. Okay, so this just about wraps up our cushion for our inside corner frame. I just finished up the item. I'm going to flip it over, staple my corners, and then look at the final product. There you go. Inside corner complete, wrinkles minimal, and that's it.